Here at Intoxicated Reviews, we intellectually dissect the art of cinema, scene by scene. Here's some clips.
All he is, it's just a fucking big wooden doll full of cum, chasing kids around.
You look up guys who poop in a bag. Because I think that's where you'll find him. Because he is hurt.
It's probably just in your search history anyway, isn't it?
This movie fucking blows.
So don't forget to subscribe to Intoxicated Reviews on all places you find podcasts. Except Spotify. We're working on it.
Hey everyone, Chris Hansen here of Hansen vs. Predators and Catch Your Predator. Why don't you have a seat right over there and listen to Kyle and Brandon, our podcast. According to my chat logs, Kyle and Brandon have interesting guests.
No, I hated it.
Yeah.
Everybody's sweaty, everybody's on drugs, so they're super sweaty but also touchy. And then they touch your face, then you leave there, and the next day you have pimples.
Fantastic conversation.
He's underground in a lab, floating in a tank of water because he almost died.
And most important, no predators.
Boys Club.
Is it called Boys Club because my apartment looks like a boy lives in it?
I wouldn't say a boy lives in it. I would say a boy is kidnapped somewhere in here.
Boys Club.
We're everything. We're true crime. We're World Star Hip Hop.
World Star Hip Hop. We're Netflix reviews.
Stories of the day.
Boys Club.
Listen.
Yeah, do it. We're on iTunes. We're on Spotify. I think. No, we're not. And on Google Play. Nobody gives a shit.
Boys Club.
Boys Club Podcast. Now with 90% more sound clips of black people.
Boys Club.
Touch me and I'll sue.
Do not take product if you are hypersensitive.
Okay, Internet. And welcome back to another episode of the Intoxicated Podcast. I'm your host, Sarah McClellan, and this is a comedy variety talk show where I sit down with friends, comedians, and various guests and talk about life, usually while drinking, but not right now because I'm a sober sister for a little bit. But welcome back to the podcast and happy Valentine's Day to anyone who gives a shit about that holiday. Got an awesome episode coming your way today. This week, there's a lot of guests. I have 4 different guests this week on the same episode. It's a lot of voices, but I promise it's amazing. This week I am collaborating with 2 of my friends, Alva-Marie Sparkles and Adrienne Gabrrielle, who's a returning guest of the podcast. They are currently producing a new comedy burlesque variety show that is happening on February 21st, and it is called Tongue and Cheek, and hopefully this won't be the only one, but they are producing an amazing show with comedians, burlesque dancers, drag queens and kings. There's also going to be magic. I mean, it's a true variety show. There's something for everybody in this show. So before I get to the episode, just want to let you guys know that is taking place on Friday, February 21st, starting at 8:30 p.m. And you can get tickets in advance. General admission is $12.50, but they do also have a lot of group discounts on there as well. I'm going to link to the ticket information below because I highly recommend you come out. I'm probably going to be there helping out, and it's going to be a really, really good show. So for this episode, I have Alva-Marie and Adrienne, as well as 2 of the other performers, and that is Tishina La Tush and Miss Shapen. 2 amazingly talented women. I mean, everyone on this episode is amazingly talented. So this is a big love fest of an episode for Valentine's Day. We talk a lot about performing, body confidence, burlesque. At one point, we talk about our definitions of love, and things get fucking deep. So it's a really good episode. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you come out to the Tongue and Cheek show on February 21st. Now for my own plug. I've been plugging it for a couple weeks now, but the very next Friday after Tongue and Cheek is the first ever Intoxicated live show featuring Travis Lindsay, Andrew Vaughn, Catherine Robertson, many other comedians. I'm working on nailing down a comedian to potentially interview during the live show, so stay tuned for that. There might be another name to add to the lineup. Guys, I'm so excited for this. I'm so ridiculously nervous, though, that no one's going to show up. So please, dear God, if you're listening to this right now, if you're a regular listener, if you're in Halifax and you want to come out to support the show, please get your tickets in advance, because not only are they cheaper and it'll just serve you better in the long run to come and save the money, it will very much ease my anxiety that I have about this live show. It's been a lot of my life for the past couple weeks planning this show, and it means a lot to me. So I hope you guys come out to the Intoxicate live show. That is Friday, February 28th at Sniggly Wiggly's in downtown Halifax. Show starts at 8:30, doors open at 8, and tickets are $7 in advance. So they're fairly inexpensive. If you wait till the day of and you buy at the door, they're going to go up to 10. So buy in advance if you can. I would greatly appreciate it. And as always, if you are a fan of the show, make sure you're following Intoxicated on social media. That is Facebook and Instagram at Intoxicated Podcast, and on Twitter at @in_toxicated. You can send some love my way, especially on Valentine's Day, because no one loves me. So, this is something nice you could do for me on Valentine's Day. You can leave an Apple Podcast rating or review. That always helps the show out. Make sure you are subscribed wherever you find podcasts, and you can also subscribe on YouTube. If you just search Intoxicated, you will find the channel. Lots of video episodes up on there to check out, so please subscribe on YouTube. You can also check out Patreon at patreon.com/intoxicated. Whew! So much to go over, but a lot's going on, guys. There's a lot of exciting things happening in Halifax, and being involved with shows is a lot of fucking fun. So I hope to see some of y'all out at these 2 awesome shows that are coming up. And be sure to listen to this whole episode, because there is a discount code at some point in this to get a discount on the tongue-in-cheek tickets. So buckle in, grab some wine, grab some chocolate, and enjoy this episode with Alva-Marie Sparkles, Adrienne Gabrrielle, Miss Shapen, and Tishina La Tush.
All right.
Oh, I have something to talk about right off the top of the show. I think I witnessed my first public jerk-off today. Actually, I don't know for sure.
The
but
jokes
it
write
was,
themselves.
It was something else again. We are here, guys. Welcome to the Intoxicated Podcast.
Yay!
Holy shit. We have a mega episode for you this Valentine's Day. You guys are in for it. I'm going to start by introducing kind of my co-host for this episode. Alva-Marie Sparkles is here.
Hi.
First time on the podcast.
I'm so excited.
And returning guest, Adrienne Gabrielle.
Hey.
She's back. I didn't scare her off after her episode. So.
No.
And I'm really excited because we're here today to talk about a show that you doing with some awesome performers.
Yes.
So take it away. Who do we have here?
All right. So we are running a show called Tongue and Cheek, which is a variety / comedy burlesque show. And we have invited some guests that are going to be on our show as well. So we do have Miss Shapen, who is an amazing burlesque and stage kitten. I saw her a few months ago and I was just blown away by how talented she was. She had a really elaborate costume. She did really, really well. And I wanted to go up to her and ask her for details so I could book her for a show at some point, but I didn't have anything at that point. So I thought it would be kind of creepy to just go up and be like, I loved your show. Can I have your contact details so that we can talk about a thing that doesn't exist yet, maybe?
Yeah.
Can I show you my etchings?
So I did something way less creepy, and I just stalked her months later on social media.
That's how you do. That's how you do.
But I couldn't have been too bad because here she is.
Here you are. I say if you see some same with podcast guests. I see people I want all the time on the podcast. I'm just gonna go for it. Because what's the worst that can happen when you ask someone to do something? They say no, and then you go cry all night. Yeah, it's all good.
And that's what I did with our other guest we have here today, a fabulous burlesque performer, Tishina La Tush.
Tishina La Tush.
She is amazing. I've seen her perform many times, and I just love her attitude on stage, and she just brings a lot of I love the body positivity that you exude. You know what I mean? You're very sexy and very playful, very playful. And I just was mesmerized every time I've seen you perform. So I'm really excited to have you on our show.
I'm stoked for this show. I was telling you earlier, I don't quite have the numbers picked out yet because I've got so many, but I'm also an improv burlesque performer. Ooh. I don't do a lot of choreography because I forget.
I am
and
shocked.
Then I count, and then it's terrible. And I'm like, nope. So
No, I'm
Just
shocked
feel it.
because you are so fabulous. That
I have
you
general
like,
ideas of where
Really?
things should happen at certain points, and if those don't happen, I make it work.
I am shocked because when I've seen Tishina perform, I'm like, that is so, like, she's got it nailed. Like, she's been practicing this forever.
Surprise!
Yeah.
Wow.
Very polished. Very polished.
Well, and I think it's because you just have that natural rhythm that you can just pick it up anywhere and just kind of roll with it.
Like this, you mean?
Yeah, kind of like that.
How long? Natural everything. What?
How long have you both been doing burlesque?
I've been performing for just over 2 years.
Oh,
I've
wow.
been a burlesque enthusiast for a couple decades.
Like a
And
fan of it? And
huge fan, like alarming fan.
Yeah.
Overly enthusiastic fan, like screaming in the crowd and taking classes. And I also stage kitten, which for those who don't know is like fancy stagehand.
Right.
Yeah, I pick up bras elegantly and place chairs and shake my butt at the audience, but don't perform most of the time. Run around backstage
that's
and make
not
sure
a
that people
performance
have
in itself.
Band-aids and bobby pins and that type of thing. And yeah, but performing has been just a little over 2 years now.
Oh, so you're fairly fresh.
Fairly
fresh.
Can I just interrupt and say, did you see me multitasking just then? I'm working her mic and drinking.
Whoa.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
The two most important
And I
things.
thank you for it.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Very, very, very important.
We should also mention that both these ladies do some drag. So Miss Shapen is actually having her drag birth coming up in March, and then you've been doing it for quite a while. So do you want to talk about that?
I've actually only been doing it for just over a year. I just had my drag-iversary, if you will.
Drag-iversary.
My first show was the Drag Princes show that Rhett Slutler had put on last
Who's also in the show.
January. So that was my drag debut as Sunny Day.
Sunny Day.
Oh, okay, I have seen photos of you. The thing with we were talking about this a little bit off mic, is the thing with burlesque and drag is that because there's the alternate personas, I often don't realize it's the same person. So I have actually seen Sunny Day before, so good job.
Insane.
I look very different as a boy.
Don't we all?
Amen.
I'm fascinated. Holy smokes. I was actually thinking while getting ready for this episode about the process of getting ready for things and how everyone is so different with their process and how they get ready. Like, some people are social people who get, like, some people like to invite their friends over to get ready together. And some people don't. I'm in the don't category.
I'm firmly in the don't category.
I'm firmly in the don't. Like,
Firmly
I just think it's like such a, like, you gotta get in the zone and really focus. And I can imagine with like burlesque and drag, it's even like 10 times more intense, like the getting ready. So
there's a lot of makeup involved in both
So
drag
much.
and burlesque, and like
So much.
And as I'm still in utero for drag. My drag birth will be late in March 20th, and so yeah, that will be my drag birth. And I'm still learning the drag makeup, and it's intense. And I find it far more difficult than burlesque makeup because there's a lot more. You're changing the structure of your face even more than you do. I mean, women's makeup changes the structure of your face, but to transform your face to look like a dude face, which is what the drag that I do, like, it's a little femme dude, but it's still like I'm carving angles in that aren't there.
Yeah. Right.
So it takes longer.
And you
way
gotta
longer.
blend that shit.
Yes.
Oh God, blending
for days.
Oh God, blending.
That's why I like my crazy glitter. There's no blending. It's just like, snap, this is all this color. This is all this color.
Yeah.
Just
There's
stamp
no
it
blending.
on.
There's no fucking blending.
Yeah. Well, I've actually done some drag myself as well. Yeah.
Oh my God, I did not know this.
Yeah, and the character I used to do, I had like a big poofy beard, and I had like 4 different kinds of mascara, like a highlighter brush, like an eyebrow brush that I would use together to try to like create a beard effect, and that alone took me like an hour. So yeah, like it's definitely very, very involved.
It is intense.
So one other trick I used to do when I was doing drag, because one of my acting coaches has told me this at one point, that the way that men move is heavily influenced by what they got going down in their nethers. So I actually would fill a condom with water, just a little bit, as if it was like a soft dick, and I would tuck that in my undies, and it would like help me walk more like a man.
Oh, definitely. I have like for my first number in building the choreography for it. That was a suggestion that I heard as well. Is you will walk completely differently when you have a big old package in the front. And so I got one of the limpy packers that you can get down at Venus MD.
Oh, nice.
The big soft dick. And I wear
Limpy
that in my
packer.
A limpy packer. Yeah, packer, false penis you wear, and limpy. It's just kind of flopping around.
It's a little sad.
Yeah, it's not
It's a little depressed.
Not a big stiff dick. So it's just like
Are we allowed? Oh my! Are we allowed to say dick?
Oh my god. Yeah, so I've been building the whole choreography with this like massive package in my hand, and you walk completely differently. And yeah, it really informs how you move.
Even guys who have big dicks, like they're not always rock hard walking around. So,
but still,
that's a medical condition.
It was the
Rock
testicles.
hard.
Like,
Go
there's
check that
big
out.
testicles there too. Like, and it's
Like bigger than usual testicles? Like, did you buy like the supersize package?
XXL.
Yeah, like
That gorgeous petite
you are a
frame with
size
great big
queen.
dick. I'm loving it.
Yeah,
She's a size
That's
queen.
the dream.
who's size queens here? Just random hands.
I do. I mean,
Yeah.
I do. I can't help it.
Oh man,
See,
that's funny.
Yeah, I don't care so much about size. I'm more about like the proportion. And yeah, like as long as you're not a pencil or a cheese wheel, like. But I actually have like a little side note about how you were saying like they're not rock hard all the time. So for years when I was younger, the only time I ever saw a penis was when it was hard. Like that's the only time anybody would show me one. So for years I thought they were just like that all of the time.
That's hilarious.
That
To
is
be young
funny.
and naive again.
I know. When was that last year, Alva?
2 years ago,
Yeah,
Adrienne.
I know,
Give me some
I know,
credit.
Sorry, I'm sorry.
You are the baby of the group, aren't you?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, what are our like what age ranges are we all in? 'Cause-
I just turned 30.
29
Ooh,
plus
baby.
shipping and handling.
You're 29?
No, I'm 35. Hence the shipping and handling.
I am eternally 27.
Oh.
I'm 42.
What?
I am
And
very comfortable
foxy
saying that.
as fuck.
Yeah,
Jesus.
I'm 42.
Oh my God.
Heck yes.
No.
Heck yes.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, that's and you're only just starting.
Yes.
You're only just starting life.
That's amazing.
There's so many like I've talked to like older women like in their like 50s, 60s, and they're like, I'm having more fun now than I ever have.
Yep.
Because I think you
hit
stop
your-
giving a fuck.
I was just about to say that. I think when you hit your 50s and 60s, you don't care what other people think.
Yeah, that's exactly what
That's
it is.
why I started doing burlesque.
Ooh.
And made that transition from being like, I love burlesque, I'm going to go to all the shows, but I could never do that.
Right.
And
just
I
finally
hit a
letting
certain
yourself.
point in aging where I'm like,
Yes, I can.
fuck it.
Yeah,
Like, can I
do
say
it.
fuck? Yeah.
Can we say fuck?
You've
But
been
yeah,
on my
like, it
show.
was-
You know that you can curse.
It was aging that really pushed me over the edge from like, because for a long time, like just to get like, a little serious for a moment.
Yeah.
I'm like with like body image issues. I'm like, I don't look the part. I don't look the part. I don't look the part. And as I looked less and less the part, that mattered less and less. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it all. I am going to do this. I love this. I've always wanted to do it, and I've always stopped myself from doing it.
Yeah.
And getting older made me just go, it's not going to get any better. If I'm ever going to do it, let's do it now.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
That's
It's
awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy that you're talking about body image issues because I was telling Adrienne, like, I'm in the worst time of my life for that currently. I despise my body. Like,
I'm in that boat too.
Despise. And it sucks because of timing, because it's like this live show coming up and like I want to look really good and I want to have like it's like an exciting time. And I should be stoked and I should be loving it, and I hate it. Like, hate it. And it's so shitty because I don't want to hate it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
Yeah.
I want to love it, but I just hate it so much, and I don't know how to get out of that.
Yeah. Well, and I see other women that have similar features to mine, which are the features that I hate, and they rock it, and I think they look beautiful, and it's like, why can't I do that with myself?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That is why I love burlesque, and I love going to burlesque, and I also love going to the beach, because
yes. I hate
I
it.
love seeing people there who have bodies that aren't like that, you know, stereotypical perfect body, but they are wearing a bikini and they don't care.
That's
they
me.
are just loving life, or they're performing in a burlesque show and they go all the way down to like their little titty tassels and a sexy pair of underwear and they don't care. They are just rocking it. It makes me feel so good about myself. I don't know if that's the point, but it does. It makes me feel great.
Yeah.
You know?
If I could talk to that for a point
Yes,
for a minute,
please
too. My stage name is Miss Shapen.
Yeah.
Chosen very deliberately. And when I made the decision, it's like, you know what? No, I am doing this. I chose that name because one of the other things, other than being like 42 and having had a lot of kids, is I have fairly pronounced scoliosis. This rather severe curvature of the spine side to side, as seen in your favorite hunchbacks that you may have seen, like pre-transition Yennefer on The Witcher, Quasimodo. Mine's a little lower, but my spine looks really weird. I've got extra curves and a big hunchback down lower, and it was very deliberate to be like, you know what? No, I'm going to get naked on stage and show this. Yeah. My body is so weird, and you never see my body type ever.
Yes.
Growing up, I never saw bodies with scoliosis being sexy.
Right.
I never even saw bodies with scoliosis. Like a lot of times, if you have a body deformity, you really hide it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? No. And not only am I going to show my body, I'm going to put it right in my fucking name.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You're owning it.
And even my drag name is going to be Twisted Mister, which is also referencing the fact that my body is like weirdly shaped.
Yeah. Representing all the different body types is so important. And I was so stoked the first time I got to see you actually perform and not just stage kitten. I was almost brought to tears because I'm like, burlesque needs this.
Right.
Burlesque needs you.
Well, the world needs that, I think.
The world does. Because you're giving other people who are facing similar challenges to you the chance to see that and go, oh, well, I can do that now.
Yeah.
Like, you're strong enough in yourself to be that for other people, which is great. Yeah, that's fantastic.
I do believe she's getting
proud.
the vapors.
More beer.
I'm a crier too, by the way. So
oh my God, me too. Are you a crier?
Don't start or I'll start.
Yeah, I put on the waterproofs.
Did you?
Is it going to be that kind of show? Are we all going to be reduced to tears?
There's 5 women in a room together. What do you think?
Amen. So that reminds me, I did an episode back when the Me Too movement came out, where I had 3 of my girlfriends on, and that was a doozy. Because we talked all about it, and we talked about our experiences. Jeez. And I still am like, I'm so glad I did that episode because it was very different from all my other episodes. But
that's so important.
It was a moment in time to look back and be like, we were all feeling that like so intensely, and we all had very different experiences, but we all came to the table and talked about it. And it was
That's awesome.
It was pretty insane.
That's amazing. Do you know what episode number that is? I need to look that one up.
Yeah, I want to watch that one too.
Oh, sorry, Miss Shapen. I had to
But it would have been start listening to all of them.
Talking into your crotch, it's fine.
The visual on that is going to be great.
That's our new promo poster.
Yeah, no, I like getting deep, and I think with body image,
I bet you do. I bet you do.
Jesus Christ!
I have a technical question.
Yes,
not to I'm totally changing subject. Should I be looking there or there?
You can look wherever you want.
I can't stop looking at all.
I know.
I'm like solely focused on you, Miss Shapen, because you're so glittery and fabulous.
Yeah.
She looks so fabulous.
I should have put you in that couch so you're looking straight, but you can look wherever you want.
I just don't know where to look.
I rarely look at the camera unless I want to subtly subtweet somebody and stare at them.
Okay. All right.
So you can look wherever. Okay. Yeah. It's not a huge deal. But yeah, body image issues are they're so personal is the thing. And my thing is I want to talk about this briefly, just because it's something that I went through in the past couple of days, is unsolicited advice about health. Yeah, I love that you all know because you get it. So I posted that I recently got a gym membership and I went to the gym for the first time in years, and I get bombarded bombarded with advice about dieting and what workouts I should do and what gyms I should go to. And like,
were they all men?
No, a lot of them were women.
Oh my!
This is the thing. And then my own mother commented, being like, well, it doesn't really work if you want to lose weight. You're gonna have to like eat better if you want to lose weight. Like,
thanks, Mom.
Yeah, and it was just so I was real pissed. I was like, can we not just
immediately tear this apart?
Yeah, or maybe just like be like, oh sweet, you're making a healthy decision. Good for you. That's awesome. I'm so glad you're doing it. Rather than you should do this, and this. Like, and like people sending me ridiculous things like programs on cooking like 5 healthy meals a week. I'm like, you don't know my life. I have 0 time for cooking. 0. It's literally the last thing I think about is cooking.
I have a question. So in your post, did you even say that you were going to the gym to try to lose weight?
No. I said I'm going to the gym, and I made a joke being like, hold me accountable. Because like, I might fuck off and not go.
As a plus size performer, I feel that so much. If people see me perform, if they even come at me with any sort of, oh, you should wear this because of your body type, I'd be like, boink. Yeah. Sit on that, please, and go away.
So true.
Because they can go fuck themselves.
Yeah.
It's your body. It's how you feel you need to do whatever you need to do to feel good in the skin you're in.
Yeah. And people really got to fuck off.
Yeah.
Well, and there's
people
a lot of
really got to fuck off.
Yeah, and there's a lot of reasons you might want to go to the gym. Like I go to the gym sometimes for stress relief.
Yeah.
Like you didn't even say you wanted to lose weight.
I go to pick up men.
Honestly, you know what? You know what?
The only reason.
That made me really happy when I walked in there and saw all the hotties.
Nothing
I was
turns
like,
on a man like a sweaty ass crack. Ass sweat down the back.
Or that boob thing, that under boob sweat. Yeah, I get that a lot too. I love that. I love it. Call me.
I just haven't moved my body in so long because I do this and I also work in an office. So like I'm constantly sitting at a computer and not actually moving my body. And like I actually like moving my, like I like doing active things. I wouldn't say like sports or anything like that, but like the main reason I did it was to start moving again and get endorphins. And I also want to lose weight, I won't lie. But like, that's not your place to tell me what to do.
You still need to do it on your own terms.
Yeah. So it's just really pissed me off. And that was yesterday actually that it happened.
Oh my God.
And it was just very annoying. So I was curious because with burlesque and performing and stuff, a huge part of it is being connected to your body and being confident in your body. And like, are there ever times when you guys don't feel confident and you have to go out there and dance and perform? And like, how do you?
Yes. Every single time.
Every single time.
Every single time. I really hold space for both. It's like I am doing this because I feel really, really strongly about different body types being represented in burlesque, and I also agonize about my own body and hate my own body a lot of the time. And also, I'm a mom to 4 daughters.
Oh, wow.
So I really also feel like, not that they watch all my burlesques. My oldest daughter is 20, so some of my big ones do, but my littlest one is 7. She doesn't see a lot of the shows.
Fair.
But I really feel like no matter if I hate my body or not, that's my own struggle, and I still am going to get out there and show that all bodies are valid and all bodies are
Can I do a
welcome,
little
especially in
shameless
burlesque.
plug just because we're talking about bodies?
Please, shameless plug.
Myself and 2 other boylesque performers are putting together a body show. Everything fabulous from head to toe and everything in between. So we will be putting a call out for all body types. If you are in a wheelchair, we want you. If you have any issues with your body that you even might personally feel is a detriment to yourself, we want to make you feel better. You don't have to perform. Just come to the show and see all these different fabulous performers, body types, genders, transgenders, everything. We want everything under the sun in this show because every body is beautiful.
Absolutely.
And we want to showcase that. So that's going to be happening. We're looking at May 23rd.
Okay.
still looking for venues.
So on the brink of summer, sort of.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is what actually happens in this show.
In this particular show, we're going to have drag and burlesque specifically, but it is, like I said, it's a celebration of all bodies. So,
amazing.
Myself as a plus size performer, the lovely Miss Shapen is going to be performing with us too.
That's
so I'm
awesome.
so excited. But all of the performers will either have to have something related to bodies in their name and or in the song they choose.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to pitch Pancreas by Weird Al, call me.
That's great. Good for you guys. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and good for you for doing it every time anyway, even if you're having challenges right before you get up there. Like, thank you.
Comedians have, I feel exactly how you feel, but in a different way, because I'm kind of bearing my soul on stage through my jokes, and I am constantly like, I feel like we're our own worst enemy, and you are gorgeous. I mean, like, I am like, I can't stop staring at your bosom.
And it's not just the leopard print of the glitter.
I just snorted. Before I go up on stage, like, the most horrible things are going through my head. Like,
really?
Why are you doing this? You are horrible. You are not funny. Oh my God, that person before you is so funny. You're gonna bomb. People are gonna hate you. Like, these jokes are old. You need to why aren't you writing more new material? What is wrong with you? And it goes on and on and on. And I'm like, I had like this mini existential, I can't even say a crisis when I was in Ottawa. I just did Yuck Yucks there. And I was like, this is the worst. Why are you doing this to yourself? Why are you going up? Don't go up. You can't go up. And then
run now.
And that's what I said to myself. I was like, don't do it. Don't do it. And then you know what I mean? Like,
So is it like a switch flips? Like, and you just go into... Because what I wanted to ask is, do you guys believe in the phrase "fake it till you make it"?
Yes.
Yes.
Definitely.
So if you are in that space, you kind of go into a like, I'm now playing a role. Like, I'm an actress or actor in my own life.
And I wonder if that's even easier, perhaps, for burlesque and drag performers than it is for someone who's a comedian, who's going up and being themselves.
Personal. It's more personal.
Whereas it's so clear. Like, like when I step on stage, I'm not my everyday person.
Right.
I even have a different name. I'm wearing things I would never wear. I take off my clothes and shake my tits at strangers. Yes, we do that.
Which we really appreciate.
So it wasn't you I saw at the bus stop.
So,
Well, if it was the bus stop theater, then
not just any bus stop. Yeah. So, like, at least we have like a little more like degree of separation of like, I can really go into what is clearly a different person. So you can really like, I am faking everything. These aren't my real eyelashes.
Right.
Like, nothing is real about it other than this body, which you may be hating at the time, which you are then taking on stage. But yeah, there is that, like, you do have to really just fake it till you make it. And maybe there are some people who just walk around with that level of confidence all day, every day, but it's not me.
I think even those people like aren't confident. Like, I truly think, and in the 3 years of podcasting and talking to everybody, I'm like, there's not a goddamn person I've had on the show that isn't insecure about something. Yeah. Like, we're all insecure about something. It's just our perceptions of others are like different. Like, we might perceive someone to be very confident, queen, like, yes, queen, like, but it's like they have their own insecurities. Like, we're just not seeing them that well because they're doing such a good job at faking it. Such a good job.
Well, and for me, and I don't know if you guys feel this way as well, but the more nervous I am before I get on the stage, the better I feel when I get off of it. Like, the high that I get from doing well is all that more intense the more nervous I am before I get on stage.
Because, like, you did it and you conquered it. Like, and then you have a high afterwards kind of thing.
And you slayed the dragon.
God, I'm done. I can put my clothes back on? Okay, they've already seen me naked.
So much adrenaline going when you're on stage, and if you are nervous, I can totally empathize with that. Like, there's this heightened level of like so much adrenaline, and then when you get off stage, you're relaxed. And for me, I almost go into like a little bit of like a dissociative state on stage, where it's like,
oh wow,
like I go on, I do the thing. That's why I'm not an improver. I choreograph everything right down to each moment, so that I can just go on and know that I'm doing it. And then sometimes I get off stage and I'm like, did I do it? Did I do the thing? And I looked down, I'm like, well, I'm naked.
So I must have.
I must have performed my act successfully.
Yeah. Yes, I did.
None of my clothes are on. They're on the stage. So.
Hey, wait, there's tips in the jar?
Something went right. Yeah.
That's crazy. That's why I have so much respect for strippers. So much respect.
Oh, yeah.
God, yes.
So much respect.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
And I'm so sad there's no strippers here. Like,
Me
it
too.
breaks my
It
freaking
breaks
heart.
my heart.
You might have one
Wait
soon.
a second. What do you call us?
Oh,
Burlesque
dancers.
Honey, that's glorified stripping.
Yeah.
Is it? A less well-paid stripper.
It actually is. So less well paid.
I don't really, some people feel really strongly that stripping and burlesque are different, whether it's that you're looking down on strippers or you're looking down on burlesquers, and it's like, well, that's not as much work as what a stripper does. But for me, and this is just personal, other people's mileage may vary, but there's so much interweaving, and I take off my clothes in front of people
Right.
Yeah.
in the hopes of money, and
Uh-huh.
it's not, I
There
don't
it is.
It's very
push that aside as like, I don't do that.
Right.
That's not what I'm doing.
The prep is so much different between your standard strippers and even standard burlesquers, because there's different thoughts into your costuming.
Yes,
Whereas
and
strippers
character.
are generally going to start in less and do a lot more bumping and grinding and pole work, whereas this body don't do pole.
Right.
Because this body says that's too much work. But my brain says, ooh, I could make this costume and I can make it come off very easily.
Right.
But it starts out as I'm wearing 16 layers and look like I am a balloon.
When those kids in the snowsuits?
Yes, very much Starship.
What is that, Christmas Story or something? The Christmas Story where they walk down the alley like that or something?
I would
look like
love
they're
to
covered
do
in
like a winter show where all the burlesquers start that way.
Yes, in a
hilarious.
snowsuit.
And then
In
they
a snowsuit.
gradually take off the layers.
Yes.
I want to see
Loving it.
snowsuit burlesque.
Yeah.
Just like,
Okay, the
unable
planning
to-
is in the works for next year then, babe.
There we go.
I think I might be taking pole classes.
Oh my God, I tried it.
Did you try it?
I tried it. I did 2 classes.
It's hard.
It was the hardest
It's really
thing
hard.
I've ever done, and I've worked out. Like, I've played sports and worked out my entire life.
Yeah.
It was brutal.
I
couldn't
mostly
do it.
want to just do the 8 weeks so I can get an Instagram video of me like doing some sort of cool move to Give Me More by Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Like that's just what I want. That's all I
The
want.
level of athleticism involved. In
Hobo.
again, like, did anyone
Yeah.
see J-Lo at the Super
Can
Bowl?
we
Oh
talk
my God,
about
yes,
that? That was
please.
so
Holy
crazy.
crap.
Yeah.
Like,
She is 50.
She's
Yeah.
50 years old.
50.
Well, let's keep in mind, I'm not like minimizing what she did, but shit, if we all had like personal chefs and personal trainers and like a plastic surgeon, we would probably be working a pole at the Super Bowl too, right?
It's literally her job
Yes.
to look like that and be able to do those things.
And she has
If I
all the
had
money in the
same
world to like
resources, hell
maintain
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You're
Now,
totally
Not to
right.
minimize it, not to
Right,
minimize
not to minimize it, and I think I was blown away by the performance by both of them.
Oh, she did
fantastic. But yeah, I just want to
But there's
keep it
also
real.
a lot of beautiful women that age that look more real, like more like the standard 50-year-old that are still gorgeous.
Yes.
J-Lo, I'm convinced is some sort of alien. I don't know. I feel like, how can you be that perfect? Like,
Well, it's a lot of Botox and fillers.
Yeah.
Do you think she's had Botox?
Absolutely, she's had Botox and fillers. There is no way she can look like that and not have Botox and fillers.
I think she's a sex robot from the future.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I'll take 2.
Yes, please. Yeah, no, it was really good though. That
It
whole
was.
thing.
Fantastic.
I did find that fairly conflicting though, because it was both like, on one hand, like, wow, how wonderful is it to see a 50-year-old woman, and her and Shakira too, like women,
Who's like 43, I think.
women of advanced age, doing this and being sexy and being wonderful and saying that this is an option. Like, we're not completely written off,
Right.
past like in professions where image is everything, you're written off long before that.
Yeah.
So, like, on one hand, it's like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. I love seeing this. And there is that other aspect of like, yes, but this is only attainable to a certain segment.
Yes.
It is good genes. It is also the incredible privilege of trainers, and this is your job. And
I feel like that's why the body show is going to be so important. There's more that representation of people that don't have access to that
can still do it.
Yes.
That can still be fabulous and sexy and feel good and not have to worry about, oh, do I have $40 million to be able to have a personal chef who only cooks me egg whites and brown toast with avocado and all those things that is not attainable to
the average
somebody that doesn't make more than $50,000 a year.
Exactly.
Before taxes.
And that's why the unsolicited advice pisses me off. Because you're just giving advice based on your life.
Yes,
You're
you
not
don't freaking know.
You're not giving advice based on my life at all.
Well, and with that too, like any exercise and any positive diet is going to make you healthier. Why are you bombarding somebody with a million different things or what you consider to be the best? Like, just let them try different exercises, try different diets, and figure out what works for them.
Hit that bell. Hit that bell, bitch.
There's so many bells tonight. I love this discussion because it's so fucking important to like do what's best for you and not listen to other people. I know how freaking hard it is though. It's hard. I get really affected by what other people think. And then I get scared that like I'm being too bitchy. Like, because I posted on my stories being like,
do the thing.
Let's stop it with the unsolicited advice, people. And then I had girlfriends
Someone's going for
me,
a beer break.
Being like, I'm sorry I gave you unsolicited advice. And I was like,
oh, cozy.
And then one friend was like, I'm sorry I gave you unsolicited advice, but I do recommend following this Instagram account. I was like, bitch, what are you doing? That's
not an apology.
You
know that everything.
I'm sorry, but
before the butt means nothing. Everything before the butt means nothing.
People, can we just support each other and being our better selves, like the best versions of ourselves that we can be. Because at this point in my life, I can't afford all these things that people are telling me to do.
Right, and that's why I'm gonna shamelessly plug our show.
Yes.
That's why I love our show, that we have a variety of people showing like a variety of genres and
just coming together,
body types and that sort of thing. Just really celebrating like having fun and everyone and different
the individualism.
Is that a
word?
Yes.
Absolutely. I'm a little buzzed, so I don't know if I'm making sense right now. But we have beautiful burlesque performers. We have beautiful drag performers. We have like beautiful comedians.
Yes, beautiful comedians.
We even have a magician.
We have a magician, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and I think it's very, very cool because the entertainment industry is still dominated by white middle-aged men. And this show has so many female, queer, just a little bit more diversity. We're trying to put some energy out there to say, hey, women are funny. Hey, people of all different body types are sexy. Like, anybody can be anything if they put enough effort into it.
Absolutely.
And just like own what you do and don't be afraid that you don't look like everybody else who's doing it.
Yes.
Ding-a-ling.
Ding-a-ling. Tish, I wanted to ask you though, how did you get into burlesque and everything? What's your origin?
My name origin.
Ooh.
For my name is Tishina La Tush.
Tishina La
Tush. My girlfriend and I had gone to a burlesque brunch in Toronto while my partner and our Padawan were actually coming here to do house hunting. They like, here, this is your Mother's Day present, a week away from both of us. Sweet. But anyway, so she and I went to the Cadillac Lounge in Toronto, and we went to a burlesque show, and there was a fabulous plus-size burlesque dancer, and oh my God, the way she moved those fans, I was just like, I was in heaven from the time she went on stage to the time we got home. And on the way back, we were discussing, we need burlesque names. So we were pitching burlesque names to each other, and I'm like, well, Tishina was kind of a name that I really liked when I was in school, and thinking that I was going to be some famous singer, and that never happened. So I'm like, and I got a big butt. So Tishina La Tush. There we go.
I
I'm
love
done.
it. It's perfect. The alliteration.
And
It is perfect.
I've been living with that burlesque name for 8 years and have only been performing very amateurishly for, I want to say 4 years. Could be longer, could be not. I don't know. But it was just at open stage at Dartmouth Players.
Yes.
Was where I started.
Yeah.
But I only recently started actually taking classes and actually learning the art of burlesque.
Oh
in
my
the last
God, you were
couple of
kidding
years.
me. Like when I saw you at Open Players, that was
me totally faking it completely.
Holy crap. That's what I was that's why I asked you to be in this show based on what I saw there. Like you are so talented.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to see what you're gonna bring for this one.
Yeah.
There you go, another example of fake it till you make it.
I'll be surprised for what I bring to the stage too.
I want to do this thing, and I'm going to do this thing, whether or not it feels polished, whether or not it feels comfortable. I'm just going to.
My thought
put
is
it
if
out
they're
there.
laughing, I'm doing it right.
Yeah. Well, the first time I saw you was at the Star Wars show at Dartmouth.
Yes.
And I loved the
Ooh.
performance you did for that. And I just really loved that you just like dove into the theme of the night. You just brought something that was really creative. You took the theme and you just ran with it. And you did something that was sexy and fun and funny. And it was just, it was
I
everything
still have that
we
Princess
kind of
Leia costume that I made.
That's awesome.
She
Out
like,
of a
yeah,
pizza
a sense of
box.
playfulness. Like she
Yes.
makes me laugh. She's cheeky.
Cheeky.
Tongue in
Gotcha.
cheek. I had to work that in.
Nah, I love
No,
it.
you are. You're very
that's a fun
cute.
segue.
On stage. Yeah, funny.
I was gonna say on the subject of names, how did you guys come up with tongue in cheek? Because we're talking about names and.
Oh, and this is funny because somebody recently posted on our Facebook group and he was like, you know the saying is tongue in cheek, right? And I responded, I copy and pasted the definition of a pun.
Yeah.
And I posted that as my reply.
Apparently, they don't know any burlesque or drag performers because they live on either puns, body parts, and or alliteration.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the whole.
That's
yeah.
what we do.
Yeah, so it's basically just tongue is, that's what stand-ups use to tell jokes, and then cheek is, a central body part that burlesquers eat butts. But we went through a lot trying to name it. We originally had the Awkward Show, which I really, really liked, but we were concerned that audience members would fear that we'd make them feel awkward.
Oh, okay.
So we had
fear.
to ditch that name.
legitimate fear.
Like awkward humor too. Like some people get uncomfortable with the whole genre of awkward humor.
Yeah.
I'm someone who watches awkward humor. I'm like, I feel awkward too. I'm sweating. This is not an enjoyable audience experience. So yeah, like I love that name, but I'm glad that you went with tongue in cheek.
Yes, I'm very glad as well. But part of the reason why I wanted to do the Awkward Show initially is because somebody asked me, they're like, well, what if like your coworkers come and they see your boobies? Isn't that going to be awkward? And I'm like, yeah, I don't care.
Awkward show.
Yeah, but I prefer
They
tongue in
came
cheek.
to the show. They knew what they were getting into.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I would agree with that. My boss recently told me that she might be going to the Intoxicated live show.
Yes.
And I'm like, all right, you can come, but don't judge me.
Yeah, well, and my boss actually asked me if I would be comfortable if he brought the team for like a team night out to one of my stand-up shows, and I was like, you can come, but I'm not gonna cater to you. I'm not editing my
Don't censor
material.
yourself because of that.
I think employers, like a lot of employers, I think things are getting a little bit better with stuff like that. I think not in every profession, but like I think we're moving towards a more like open-mindedness.
Well, I mean, I couldn't work with this hair 10 years ago.
There was, definitely a time, like, when I was first getting into college, like, you couldn't have colored hair if you were trying to get a job, kind of thing.
no
So
way.
things have changed quite a bit. And remember tattoos? Tattoos used to be a no-no as well.
I used to have to cover my wrist tattoo. Like I only had this one at the time, but I used to have to cover my tattoo, and that's actually a really hard tattoo to cover. Yeah. You have to get like this massive bangle or always wear really long sweaters.
Yeah. Right. Which in the summer is awful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even big bangles really sucked at that time. I was like, I am so glad that I now have both of my tattoos and they look like bracelets and you can all fuck it.
Yeah. You have a permanent accessory on your wrist.
Yeah. There you go.
I don't have to worry about how uncomfortable the bangles are or how uncomfortable a watch is or a Fitbit. Fuck Fitbits. I had one. It was great until I tried to sleep and it would keep getting caught on this bone and it would hurt. And I was like, nope, this is not for me. I will stick with my tattoos.
And the Fitbit calculates your sleep, doesn't it?
tried to.
It does. It
Tried
counts
to
like
until I
your
took it off.
sleep and your heart rate and all that kind of jazz.
Big
But then you have
Brother's
to wear
watching
this
you.
ugly black.
I think they're so ugly.
They're
Thank
so
you for
ugly.
saying
They're
that.
so
They're so
ugly.
ugly.
They're
I had a cute little green one. Like it was like teal, and it was cute. And it was small, but
I'm one of those people
it did
too
kind
who
of stick
I
out a little.
sleep
So.
often with an arm under, so I would
Yes.
wind up with the impression of the Fitbit on my face. It's like,
Yeah.
if you didn't notice I had a Fitbit from my arm, you can tell from my face.
That's a sexy look, though.
Pretty. I feel pretty.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
so pretty. Do you feel pretty and witty and gay? Sorry, not really.
Always a little bit gay, yeah.
Oh, what about music? Music choices. How do you go about choosing music? Because it's such an important part. It's most of.
You want to take this one first?
Oh, I could try.
That's a hard question.
You know what? Actually, for me, it's character choice. It's more character choice. If I can be listening to the radio and I'm like, I could strip to that. Oh, I could strip to that. Oh, I could strip to that like this. And then I grow from that. Actually, I took K-Licious does a solo development class at Serpentine Studios, and I took that in the last term. Semester, the last term, and our task for the second week was grow this character, figure out what you want. Like, don't nitpick what you're gonna do, but pick a character, figure out something that they would do or not do, and put them in a funny situation. So I was listening to the radio, and we were listening to like the breeze kind of music, so like kind of mellow, and Save the Best for Last came on. I was like,
By Vanessa.
by Vanessa Williams.
Oh,
I
yes.
was like, oh,
Yeah.
oh. Ethereal Fairy sits on a cupcake.
Yeah, I've seen this act. I love this.
And I was
Yeah.
and I worked
There's
with
cake
that, and I've
sitting.
actually
It's really
performed it
good.
twice.
cake sitting?
Sitting on a cake.
Like I legit sat on a cake, and I was
Butts
like,
on
oh
cakes,
yeah,
butts
that's a
on
thing. So I performed that actually at in Ottawa at their Pride.
Oh, that's
Pride,
awesome.
Amazing.
burlesque show at the Bourbon Room, which is sadly now closed. But they have burlesque. They had Burlesque Wednesdays, and they had me do this performance, and I am living for this particular performance. I'm like, I am going to do this one every year until everybody hates it. And I'm still going to love it, and I'm still going to do it and say, fuck y'all, and I'm going to keep sitting on cakes, baby.
Sitting on a cake.
It's so good. Like, just like as the arc of a performance, when it ends with someone like really deliberately like sitting down on cake. It's
Give it a
beautiful
good little
beyond
grind.
imagining.
Yeah. It's all
So come to our show.
I may or may not do that another.
Can I do a plug now?
Yes, plug away.
So, if you want to buy tickets, they are on Eventbrite. And if you are listening to this podcast, we have a discount code, which is Intoxicated. Yeah.
Who doesn't like a discount?
Yeah. So
Intoxicated discount code. So if you're hearing this right now and you want to come,
Do
put
it
that
up.
shit into your internet machine.
Do the thing. Buy the tickets. See the
Do
show.
it.
The internet.
The all-powerful interwebs will get you tickets.
You gotta come. You gotta come to
do
this.
that, Alva? How does one get that discount?
they go to Eventbrite, find Tongue in Cheek, or you can
Yes.
go to our Facebook and go to Eventbrite from there.
Okay.
So either way, just, pop Tongue in Cheek into your computers.
Yeah.
It'll also be in the description of this episode.
Oh.
Awesome.
Scroll on down, click that
Fantastic.
link, motherfuckers.
Yes, and then when you click on tickets, there'll be a little hyperlink there that says enter promo code, and you just pop Intoxicated in there.
That's perfect.
This is for people like me who don't know what to do. Like,
Isn't there,
I have no
is there
idea.
there's a group rate too?
Yes.
For
So the
show,
more
isn't there?
people you bring, the cheaper the tickets are. So there's one individual which is $12.50, and I don't remember the rest of the prices off the top of my head. But you get a
The group
discount
rate
for
was $50.
Yes, $50 for 5 people, or there's also a threesome or third wheel special.
Who doesn't like a threesome? Come on.
And there's couples or
make it
2
more
tickets
fun.
special as well. So bring
Yeah,
people.
the more friends you bring, the cheaper it'll be. So bring your friends. Book your tickets in advance too. Don't wait till the day of. Don't be one of those people who goes, oh yeah, I gotta go to that thing tonight, and then
Maybe we'll be sold
and then
out
you'll
by
go to the
then.
website and it'll be done. And you'll have to pay the full price at the door,
or it'll be sold
That'll
out,
be no
and you will
good.
miss out, motherfuckers.
Yeah, but you don't want it to be sold out.
No.
I don't know about you guys, but like I do buy advance tickets because I mostly don't want to forget about it.
Yes.
Because I get nervous that like if I don't, because it's good with Eventbrite, you can also put it in your calendar. Like if you're an iCal or a Google Cal or a CalCal, like whatever calendar you use, you can actually put it in your
write
calendar.
it on your calendar on the fridge.
Yeah. Or like if you're like
actually use a
Adrienne.
paper
Yeah. Yeah, Adrienne uses paper only.
Yeah, Adrienne's a little bit of a nerd, but we love her.
That's why we love her.
Do you find it works well, Adrienne? The paper?
Yes, I love paper calendars. Like, this is really embarrassing. One of my dirty little secrets. I use a paper calendar.
I have both.
Really? I
use transition into the actual year we're living in and using technology. But I do
Why can't you guys just be into bondage like the rest of us? Come on.
I use an online calendar at work, but I love paper calendars. I love the pretty cover. I like the feel. I like being able to flip back and forth and see different
I love your slapping motion.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
I know.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
But also make sure that you follow Tongue in Cheek on social media because we are always running contests and we are actually giving away a swag bag at the show, and we have some really great sponsors including Pleasures and Treasures and Squish Candy. There's going to be some really awesome stuff. There's a t-shirt, this t-shirt, not this one. I won't make you get the one that I'm already wearing, but yeah,
Pay extra for
it makes your boobs look huge.
It comes with the boobs. That'd be fine. You want Alva's boobs? Get a t-shirt.
I mean, if you do want one that
Come to
smells
the
like
show.
me, it's
Yeah,
extra.
maybe- that's right. Maybe Alva will do that at the show for you if that's what you need.
Why not? If we've got burlesque happening anyway.
And I think there's also going to be some fun surprises at the show too.
Yes.
That you'll have to be there.
Yeah, I'm
to see
very
it.
excited about the fun surprises, and it's so hard for me to not spoil it. But
It's really hard for me too. I'm like,
you're like, I don't.
For the record, these are fun surprises that even the participants in the show don't know about.
yes.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about the act that I'm doing in the show.
I'm excited to see it.
Can you tease anything out?
But there's food involved.
Ooh.
There's food involved. Yeah.
Is the food phallic shaped?
No.
Okay.
No, it's actually not.
Can we throw like eggplants and bananas instead of roses?
I have a question for you.
All on me.
Question. Is it sweet or savory?
Savory.
Perfect. Maybe I will do my dessert act.
Oh, that would be nice.
It's a full meal deal, babe.
This
Dinner and a show.
I was just gonna say.
Dinner, dessert, and a show. It's all three.
But the week before your show is Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And this episode's going to come out on Valentine's Day.
Well, welcome to the nightmare.
So here we go, Valentine's Day.
Yay.
How do we feel about it in general?
I like it as like a girl's night out. I love like the color palette, like pinks and reds, obviously. And I like chocolate, obviously. But I feel like as a couple trying to do things on Valentine's Day, that's some bullshit.
It's almost useless now anyway because it's so commercialized. You can't even get a lot of the time reservations at a restaurant. Like if my partner and I want to have a fancy dinner, we'll be like, hey, you want to go out? Sure, where do you want to go? Not fast food. Gotcha.
Right.
And that's us having our fancy dinner. But we don't need Valentine's Day to do that.
No.
We just be like, hey, we have a little extra cash. Let's go do this thing together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, and I don't want to pay 10 times more for flowers.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like,
That's why you wait till the day
often
after.
celebrate Valentine's Day, just after. And like discount candy, discount flowers. And, if you're going to go to a restaurant, it's going to be cheaper any other day.
Yeah.
True. Any other day.
Because they have those preset menus on Valentine's Day as well that are friggin' rip-off.
Oh, are there?
A little bit, yeah.
I find there's just a lot of pressure to make it something special when you don't necessarily have someone, and then you feel horrible about yourself. You know what I mean?
And you have to scroll through the array of flower bouquets that people get from their boyfriends.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite thing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
want to do a competition because you always see people post their gifts and they go, luckiest girl in the world. And I'm like, Are you? Because this bitch got something way better.
Oh,
Are
you should
the
just
luckiest?
post in the comments,
Just
be like,
cross-post
well,
everybody else's stuff.
Brittany got.
Like, it's just so funny to me because I'm just like, this stuff is so cookie cutter. It's so cookie cutter. Do something different.
Just go down on me for a while.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or and I kind of agree with Alva. Like I just think it's much more fun if you do something with your girlfriends, not putting so much pressure.
I thought you were talking about going down.
Yeah, that too.
But I mean, it could be both.
You can do that as well.
Friendship, baby.
Go down on each other. Come to our show. Surprises.
Oh my gosh.
What made me make peace with Valentine's Day for myself was expanding the idea of the holiday in that, like, it's pretty fucking cisgendered, heteronormative, like, celebration of, like, normal romantic stuff. And expanding the idea to make it, like, this is about love.
Yes.
Do you like love? Do
Yes.
you love love?
I do.
I love love. I'm a love
how
addict.
do we celebrate loving love?
Yes.
And everything that means, like whether it's like your
Ding ding.
cat,
Ding a ding ding.
you know, like just like tell
Yes.
someone that you never told before. It's like, you know what, I really appreciate you, and there's this thing about you that I really like, and this day out of the year I feel more empowered to say, I've always appreciated this about you.
Oh, I love
and
that.
So today
So
I'm going
sweet.
to tell you.
No crying.
And just like make it.
You
like,
guys are all going to
a
get messages from me on
celebration
Valentine's
of
Day.
love. And that's nicer, I think.
Big fan of Galentine's Day.
Yes.
Galentine's Day.
Galentine's.
But on that as well, like, this only happened to me once because I've been married to 2 dudes.
You've been married twice?
Well, I'm on my second one now.
What?
Yeah. Anyways.
I can't wait to get to your solo episode. We got some stuff to talk about, girl.
But the one year that I was dating a woman around Valentine's Day, we went out and we had this really romantic date. And what kind of ruined it is the waiter was like, I think it's so nice that you girls couldn't get dates, so you went out as friends.
Oh, hell
no. And we were just like, yeah, it was just, it was such an awful feeling. Yeah.
I would have laughed so hard if you would have just started like ferociously making out.
Yeah.
At that moment, just to be like,
I thought you were going to say finger banging. When you started with the F, didn't you? If you just started
theater.
Like I heard.
Yeah, that's a theater thing.
That's
for
a theater thing.
Right there on the table.
Yeah.
But something else
Love
that
finger.
used to happen with that girl as well is because
I do love it. Like, I don't think it's done enough.
what, finger banging?
Yeah, I don't think it's done enough.
Is that why you're always wearing a skirt?
Now I see the accent now.
Just sending the vibes.
Honestly, kind of. Yeah. Yeah. Girl got some fantasies.
Yeah.
Some public transit fantasies.
All right,
Anyway.
gentlemen, pay attention. But something else that used to happen with that same girl is because I'm a narcissist, so I tend to date women that look a lot like me.
Do you really?
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yes, I'm going to show you a picture of my ex-girlfriend later, and you're going to be like, oh, is that you?
Oh my God.
But something that used to happen all the time is people would be like, are you sisters? And we'd be like, yes, and then start making out.
I love it.
I fucking love that.
That's my favorite scene in Rent. Hey, mister, we're sisters.
Oh, I haven't seen Rent. I have to
You
see
need
it
to
now.
see Rent.
I saw the
I haven't
new
seen
version of
Rent.
Rent. Like the
Forgive you.
Thank you.
like the movie, like the
yeah, me too.
I saw that one.
I missed it when it was in Calgary. I was so upset.
Yeah. Oh Tonight is one of my favorite jams. The Oh Tonight from Rent. So good. Yeah. Do you guys actually is there lip syncing in burlesque or is it just dancing?
Sometimes. I have one number that I do from the musical Oklahoma.
Ooh.
I think this one so
I'm just
much.
a girl who can't say no. And
she is the
lip sync
character, and
the
it's so
fuck
Yeah?
out.
so
Like,
gorgeous.
I really lip sync it.
That's
very
awesome.
heavily. You don't see it as much,
Right. That's more
Unless you
drag.
see me.
You don't see it as much on purpose. Sometimes people do like sort of.
They'll kind of
Get
get
you
often
into
use
it?
Like been
Yeah.
singing it to themselves
That would be
while
me.
they were choreographing it. So you get like little bits of like a little bit of lip sync, and then not, but it's not like deliberate
I lip
the same
sync
way it is in drag.
everything.
Do you
I
really?
lip sync everything.
Yes.
Actually did Synprov with Cine Men.
Explain what Synprov is.
Synprov is you know the show Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, think that but sexy.
Yes.
So
wait, you don't think Drew Carey's sexy?
Oh, I do. However, This is like where you're actually taking off your clothes and shit.
Nice.
So it makes a difference. So Cine Men picks a theme, and she picks a bunch of music, and she sends out all of it to all of the performers.
Oh. But only a little bit before showtime.
It's only like max 2 weeks before. So you don't get a lot of time to prepare anything. You don't know what song you're doing until the night of the performance.
Okay.
So the last one she did was based on the 7 Deadly Sins. So we had all this music based on the 7 Deadly Sins, and I memorized 3 of them, hoping and praying to the gods and to the universe that I would get one of these 3 because I knew them inside out. And I got one of the songs that nobody else wanted. I was like, yes!
But it was one of the ones they
big
memorized?
girl's getting the one about food, bitch. And I lip synced that one, and actually Miss Shapen, when I came off the stage, she's like,
I was stage kidding
were
that
you
night.
prepared to lip sync every single song? I was like, no, just 3.
Wow, you're so lucky.
But I lip sync everything that I possibly can because I'm a vocalist as well. I sing.
Do you really?
Yeah, you guys have both actually heard me sing
at the open stage at
Yes,
Theaters.
you're an amazing singer.
Can you give us
thanks,
something right
babe.
now? I know is that like the equivalent of asking a
just
comedian
about to say, tell us a
tell
joke.
a joke?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mostly
I'm like, if you could put
I feel like
on like
Simon
a
Cowell.
YouTube, a YouTube something
Karaoke?
in karaoke, I could probably do it.
If you could, what would your dream song be?
I can sing Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Oh, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Put your own strip to it.
I can. Yeah, I probably could.
That
do
would
something.
be actually a sexy strip.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Mary Had a Little
Start off
Lamb.
dressed as a lamb.
A little bonnet situation.
Shepherd's crook you did something dirty with.
Try the Jessica Rabbit version of Why Don't You Do Right?
It's right there. Ooh, accidental
She
ding.
dinged me already. What? Damn, I'm good.
Now, if this works, I actually should be able to
We'll see how it goes.
capture desktop. Let's just see.
We'll see how the version is too, though. It's like it's one of those. It's got to be the karaoke version,
Oh,
though,
right. Karaoke.
Originally done by Peggy Lee, and it was a lot faster by Peggy Lee. Okay, it's a lot faster.
Oh, I'm gonna get Peggy Lee's one.
Oh, actually, sorry. Tech mishap.
Uh-oh.
It's playing from the TV. It's supposed to play from my speakers.
Technical difficulties. While you're fixing those technical difficulties, can we say who else is on the show?
Yes, absolutely. Plug the shit into this.
So we have Rhett Slettler.
Yes, former guest.
Can I just say I have a huge crush? I've said this on Facebook, but I have a huge crush on Rhett Slettler.
Oh
my God.
Red Slettler was the first one to teach me to do drag makeup.
I love him.
Yeah, so definitely a staple in the scene. If you follow the scene in Halifax, you've definitely seen them.
Yes.
If you haven't, then you're in for a treat. And I think a lot of people, this will be sort of their first taste of burlesque and drag, so it's definitely a good first person to see. That's amazing. We also have Bill Wood, who is doing magic.
Amazing.
Yes,
Excellent.
He's a great stand-up. I've worked with him doing stand-up many
too.
times, and he's just a really well-rounded performer. He does improv, he does
Yes.
magic. He's always very entertaining. And then our headliner, we have the one and only Kirsten Finch.
Yes, Kirsten. Look at all the yasses. She got like many yasses just then.
Yes, she's a modern queen. She is
really
so relatable and just
Yeah.
so funny. She's just got that natural way of making everything funny, and she's amazing.
I love
we love her.
Kirsten.
Excellent.
Awesome.
Oh, and then we also have Oliver Twisted, who is a boy-lesker.
Oh my God.
Yes,
Boy-lesker. That's something that I'm very curious to see.
Oh,
I've
you're
never
gonna love
seen
it.
it.
I've never
My
seen drag
God.
dad swooning at the last show. He was like,
Get
It was
out.
fabulous.
Tell us. I don't know. I've never seen Oliver Twisted before.
We don't have a lot of boylesque in the city right now.
Yes.
Like there have been like waves of, there've been waves of burlesque, but boylesque especially, there's been like little peaks and valleys of like we've got a little bit of a boylesque scene, and then it goes away, and we've got a couple more performers, and then it goes away.
Right.
And now we have Oliver Twisted, and he's fucking amazing.
He's amazing. I saw him. There was a Bob-themed burlesque
I was in that.
show. Yes, it was amazing.
I was a little embarrassed. It was so bad for me.
I stage hidden that one instead of being a stage
Yes,
kid,
when
and I
you
was
take
a
off that much
bobcat.
yellow makeup, you look like the great orange one.
But
was not
Oliver
excited.
Twisted was Sideshow Bob from The
Oh, he was
Simpsons.
Oh my God.
And
So
his
sickening.
performance was so intense, but also like hilarious and playful and sexy
That's what we're
somehow.
looking
Like
for.
it wasn't.
Yes.
It wasn't like typically sexy. I would say. Like there
It
were
was
some
like
things.
disturbingly sexy.
Yeah, it was like I feel a little
It was one of the
wrong.
ongoing themes of that show because it was all Bob themed.
Yes.
Like all the performances.
Yes.
Were Bob. It was a lot of. There's a performer here, Lady Corbeau, who often uses the term confused boners.
Yes,
There were
a lot of
many.
confused boners that
There
night.
were
It's like,
many.
it's Sideshow Bob, and it's intense and weird and also
And yet
sexy. And Bob Ross. And I'm turned on.
Oh my
and
God, there was a Bob
and Bob
Ross.
Barker.
And Bob Barker.
Oh yes.
And I'm
Yep.
turned on.
Wow.
And King Bob Minion.
Hello.
Yeah, from
Sexy.
Recess. And
What's
SpongeBob.
happening? Yeah. it
And
was a lot of, like,
Bob from Bob Burgers.
I
Yeah.
don't know
King
how
Bobs.
I feel about the sexiness of this Bob.
I feel like confused boners is a lot of the boners that I give guys.
Love it. Yeah. You're like, they're like, she's so hot, but why is she still talking?
I like this enough to send dick pics and jerk off, but not quite enough to actually fuck her. So, oh, it got sad. Oh, it got real sad.
So should we sing now?
Yeah, let's turn that around. I'm going to see if this works.
Let's see how this goes.
I love that term.
This should work.
Hopefully it's got the words for me. Oh, it does. Had plenty money, 1922. You let other women make a fool of you. Why don't you do right? Like some other men do. Get out of here. Give me some money too.
Smooth like butter.
Cigarette. And so sassy.
I'm not bad. I'm just drawn that way.
God damn, you can sing. No wonder you want to lip sync all the time.
Yeah, all the time. If I wasn't lip syncing, I'd be singing out loud at every show.
You do
for all
live
the
sing,
things.
too. You
I
do
do, but
live
it's so hard when
sing.
nobody has headsets because I
Yeah.
can't strip. Yet
hold a mic.
that's a
That's a
task
hard
that I
thing.
need to learn.
One-handed stripping.
One-handed stripping. I
Whoa.
need everything that has fast snaps. Boom.
You know what? I'm gonna look into see if we can get you a headset for the show.
Yeah.
That is a thing we can look
That would
into.
be so sickening.
Because the alternative is like break away everything. Like one
Yeah, that's a lot of work and a lot of money that I don't have.
And a lot of snaps.
Okay, important question on the subject of wardrobe. Have you guys ever had a really bad wardrobe malfunction?
Yes.
What was it like and what was it?
Actually, I was doing a performance of Gwen Stefani, Rich Girl.
Ooh.
And I had originally planned to be like sexy pirate, and it was going to be an actually sexy number. Turned out fucking hilarious because I couldn't get my boots off.
Was this at open stage?
Yes, it was at
Yes,
open stage.
it was
And, like,
hilarious.
the glittery eye patch and the whole bit, and I had thigh-high boots that folded over, and I had put purple rhinestones all around the cuff, and they were so sexy. And my feet had swollen a little bit.
Yeah.
So therefore it goes up the leg. And as I was trying to take off the boot, I just could not get the boot off. So in burlesque, if you have a wardrobe malfunction like that, what you do is you get mad flamboyantly.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like part of the act, kind of a little bit.
You get
Kinda
mad
part of
at
the act.
whatever it is that's not working flamboyantly
Yes.
and make it part of the act.
And just play it
I am
up.
so gonna toot my own horn here. Good at improving all of my acts because I'm like, this is going to fuck up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And this is how I'm going to deal with it.
Oh my god, I'd be so nervous.
Which is such a great mentality. And like, it's completely, well, a little bit different with comics as well, though. But I think we all have like those back pocket jokes that are kind of self-deprecating if we start to bomb
Yes.
to kind of
For
just
just
perk
in
ourselves
case,
back
yeah.
up.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
very true.
My wardrobe malfunction is a little bit the opposite. It worked because of over planning and the gift of anxiety. I think a lot of people really shit on anxiety. It's like, this is something that holds me back. Every once in a while, anxiety provides these little moments where it's a gift. It's the Pony number that I do. I love that number so much. A postmodern jukebox cover of Pony, and I'm a very fancy neo-Victorian lady who strips down into a BDSM pony fetish girl.
This is why I love her.
There's a lot of laces involved in like corsets and skirts and everything. And I kept having nightmares of like, what if the laces tangle? What if the laces tangle? What if I can't get a costume piece off? Because there is that fallback of like, get really mad at it and then struggle out of it. I'm like, if there's
work for everything.
If there's a shit ton of laces, I'm just not going to be able to get this costume piece off. So woke up sweaty from a nightmare of like, what do I do? And I'm like, I'm going to give the stage kitten a pair of EMT shears. that if I need them, I will signal to bring them to me. And didn't it happen on stage?
Oh my God.
I got completely tangled in costume and just did this big moment of like, and the stage kitten brought me shears and I cut myself out of my costume.
That's
and
perfect.
continued on.
That's planning.
Wow. You know what? That
anxiety for the win.
That actually comes in really handy if you're into rope. If you're not afraid to cut the rope,
that's why
don't
I
do rope.
have those shears.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Anyway.
fantastic. But your outfit, was it ruined at that
No,
point?
I just cut the lacing. So
So you
I
just
could
could
put
Lacing
new
is so
laces on
easy
it.
to get replaced. Like you can, and then you can replace it with something fun and fancy if you want to do like
Yeah.
bright pink ribbon or whatever.
Something sparkly.
That's the beautiful thing about corsets too. Is as long as you're cutting the lace,
You're fine.
the lacing, you're fine. You can replace that without much of a problem, and usually dirt cheap.
Okay.
So $2 Walmart shoelaces. Like,
And it wound up as a pretty amazing effect of like cutting myself.
that
out.
was you know what, that was the
costume.
hottest part of that number. Not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I would actually love to see like a
And
whole
it was a
burlesque
complete
act of just
accident.
cutting it off.
That'd be amazing.
Wouldn't it?
I want to make a joke about lesbians and scissors, but I'm just not.
Yeah,
you
just did. You just did.
I
my
approve this
gosh.
message.
And being a corset, I mean, corsets can't be comfortable.
You get used to them though.
No, I hate them.
Breathing is for after. It's so overrated.
I did a show and it was 6 nights a week for 3 months. And I had to wear a corset every single show.
Holy smokes.
And for like the first week, I was like, I can't believe I'm doing this. This is horrible. But like your body just kind of gets used to it.
like
you
your
kind of
bones
just like
move.
Well, not even that, but
Well,
you
your
just, like, get
internal
used
organs
to
do.
breathing differently. Like you get used to breathing deeper.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like high heels too. Like high
Yes.
heels are not comfortable. They
Good point.
completely alter your posture and your body, and
But then you
your feet
develop
if you
the
wear them
muscles
often
of
enough.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
That's
yeah.
a very good point.
Oh man, heels. I still just can't figure them out. Like how to walk in them. They're
Really?
yeah, they're brutal. I don't like them.
You wear so many pretty dresses. What do you wear with your dresses?
I mean, like in the like I wear a lot of flats.
Flats are cute too.
I like
Flats
flats.
are cute.
I'm into
Yeah.
flats. Like
Love a
I do
flat.
burlesque, but I've done maybe 2 numbers in my 4 years that actually involved heels.
Yeah.
And they came off within the first 2 minutes.
Wow.
Because I can't walk in them, and it's
and
so
elaborate
uncomfortable for me.
choreography in really tall heels. Like this is why I'm in awe of some of the amazing drag queens that we have.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Because
so jelly.
they can wear a way taller heel and a way taller platform,
And it's all
and then
stiletto.
do a really elaborate choreography rather
Yeah.
in this. I'm like,
And they're wearing
I
like
can't do that.
5 layers of tights and
can't
like
do that.
2 corsets and
Yeah.
like oh my god, like 3 pairs of eyelashes. Like how the heck
it's
do they do
amazing.
it? It's craziness.
I think it
The
takes
skill.
about 3 hours for them to do all of that.
Yeah.
Even more sometimes.
Bare minimum 3 hours.
Yeah, like
But even the tottering around like that I do in heels, like, you know, it's like this is taking all I have to be able to do like minimal choreography in these
So
things.
they can
look
focus
graceful.
and
on
they're
the
doing
heels.
death drops and like flipping around, and it's like, wow, you're like, and again to bring it back to strippers, it's like
Yep.
the athleticism that
Yes.
it takes
Yes.
to do those kind of moves in that kind of footwear.
And not break an ankle.
Yeah, well, and strippers also
amazing.
often have like a fairly small stage space, and how well they use that stage
Yes.
space has always really amazed me as well.
yeah, there's not a lot of stage up there.
Well, that's the thing. Little steps.
Yeah.
They have to take very little steps.
I never
But
thought of
that also means more butt wiggles.
Yeah.
We like butt
We're
wiggles.
cool with that.
Have you guys ever been to strip clubs?
Oh my God, yes.
Yes.
All the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was I ever at Ralph's? No.
I've
Oh,
never been to
I
Ralph's.
celebrated my
I've
30th
only heard
birthday at
things.
Ralph's.
Really?
I did. I celebrated my 30th birthday at Ralph's, and a dear friend of mine who was in my book club was performing that night.
Nice.
That's not a sentence a lot of people can say. My book club stripper friend, no, she was a regular.
Okay.
And performed the most like awkwardly inappropriate non-stripper song for me for my birthday. It's like, this one's going out to my real name for her 30th birthday, and did a song by Buck 65 called Super Pretty Naughty, which is just
It's
it
not
sounds good.
Really a stripper song.
It's
though.
not a stripper song. It's awkward and weird, and the lyrics of the song he wrote and then fed through a translator into a different language and then back to English and then sings it. So like nothing makes sense and it's awkward, and she just did like a full routine with it, and the other patrons were like,
Huh?
Now,
what is happening?
If it had been
But I'm
Crazy
like,
Bitch.
it's my birthday!
Crazy Bitch would be a good stripper song.
Hey.
That's like my theme song.
Oh my God. When that song came out, I was so obsessed. And I thought I fucked like a crazy bitch, but I was only young back then, so not really. Not really, just like the song.
I go to strip clubs whenever I go. Like I used to go to Ralph's, but I go to
Regularly?
Yeah, not regularly, but I went a few times. And I didn't live here for a few years when
Did you
Ralph's
go to
was.
any of the amateur nights?
I did, and I got invited to go on stage. Like they kept asking me over and over to go on stage, and I was like, "Oh my God, I just am so self-conscious. I'm so shy. I'm really shy. I think I'm like blushing just talking about it.
You are. I'm blushing,
yeah.
but that's because of the beer, so don't worry about it.
So I would go, like whenever I go somewhere, it's like a bigger city, I always go to the strip clubs. And whenever I go to Moncton to do Hell's Basement, I always go to Angie's. Yeah,
Angie's.
Yeah,
Noted
I do
for
like
future
the strippers.
reference.
I love it.
Yeah.
Like, again, the athleticism. Like, I'm not a sports fan at all. I don't watch sports. But I think that, like, strippers and what they do is, like, my equivalent of, like, watching sports. It's like, oh, my God, look at what you're doing. Touchdown. Yeah. Like, that's my athletic event, is watching
Strippers. Yeah.
My athletic event is not athletic at all. It's darts. Sharp, pointy things at a board. It is good.
Yeah, that's fun.
It's good.
I have a funny stripper story from Edmonton. You want to hear it?
Yes, please. Edmonton. Oh my God. I know it's going to be good just because it's from Edmonton.
Yeah. So my two friends and I went to, after my comedy there, we went to the Gentlemen's Club.
Ooh.
And we were having a really fun time. And like the strippers there are really fun. And they all have posters of themselves, and they roll the posters up into almost like a megaphone, right? But they put it down at their
The kitty cat.
At their kitty cat, so that you will throw loonies and toonies at their kitty cat, right? At the end of
That
their.
seems like it would hurt.
Well, like it's not really going to go
was this
in
in
there.
winter by chance?
It was in the winter.
Ooh, cold toonies.
Like I don't know. I think actually it was more like, I think it was more like fall. Yeah. Anyway, so throwing our loonies and toonies at the little funnel thing, like great fun. And then I had this one that I loved her, right? She was just really awesome. She was a dancer, obviously. She was super flexible, like she was just really good. And so she brings out her little funnel thing. Oh, and if you throw loonies and toonies, they always give you like a souvenir at the end. So I had like a pen, which I've let you use.
Oh,
yeah,
that's my favorite pen.
Yeah,
It's a sexy pen.
It says
I've written my best jokes with that pen.
So like I was like, oh, this one I'm gonna get myself a souvenir from this one, and I'm throwing my loonies and toonies, and I run out of loonies and toonies, and I start throwing like 25 cents and nickels and dimes and shit, and I'm like, that's fucking currency, right? No. That the stripper all of a sudden sees and I'm not throwing loonies and toonies, and she stands up and she's like, no small change. And I'm like, what? Again, I'm like, bitch, that's currency. And she just turns around and cues the guy who like sweeps up all the fucking change and leaves without giving me a souvenir. Oh, did he take my like dimes and nickels? You bet he did.
Oh
You
my
did.
God.
But I did not get a souvenir.
Aw,
I still heard about that.
Oh my lord.
Yeah. It was hilarious.
I will take all of your dimes.
Thank you.
I will
you
give
put
you
a
a
funnel out
souvenir.
there, I'll start throwing, right?
If you guys could, okay.
Yeah.
And I know that there's burlesque dancers in the room, but you're gonna answer anyway. Okay. For you guys, what's your dream song to dance to? And for us, what's our dream song to strip to?
Oh golly, I don't know.
Oh, I know.
Ooh, I'm gonna say "Slut Like You" by Pink.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say "Kiss" by Prince.
Ooh, that's another good one.
It's a good one. I
That
had
is
someone
really
strip
good.
for me with that song, and it was amazing.
What? You know what? A friend of mine had sent me via Facebook a meme of the 10 hardest songs to strip to.
Okay.
I want to be able to strip to every single one of those fucking songs because they're hard, and I want to do this thing. One of them is
That's a
the
whole show.
Imperial March. And I'm like, hang on. Yes.
Release a whole show on that.
Oh
You
my
should
God.
definitely do that.
Can we find this list?
Maybe 10 hardest songs.
After everyone
songs
else
to
answers
strip
this question,
to.
I have a story about songs that one shouldn't strip to, that I've stripped to. But let's hear the first round of answers.
I think didn't we all say?
Nope, that is not the ones. Actually,
That's not
that's
the
not
one.
even close. One of them was the poem at the end of a song. I can't remember which song it was. Oh my god. White Satin. The poem at the end of White Satin. Just the poem. Another one.
I feel like I would
was-
never strip to any poem.
But that's what makes it
cheating.
But that's what makes it so interesting, because a lot of the time with burlesque, a lot of it has to do with timing and rhythm. So stripping to a poem is actually really hard when you're trying to do it in a burlesque style.
Okay, so should we do like a burlesque slam poetry night?
Oh my god, that'd be so much fun.
I could see that.
Can someone
be
do
so much fun.
a dance to like what's that Robert Frost poem?
Which one?
A walk.
He wrote a lot of poems.
I know.
What's the one about the woods? The walking in the woods.
The road less traveled by
Yeah.
one?
That'd be funny.
I think maybe. I like to pretend that I'm, educated.
I have an awkward stripping song story.
Oh, yes.
Please.
Long before I ever debated burlesque or anything, it's high school. In high school, me and my best friend were also dating best friends. And we thought as like a special evening, we would like make them dinner. And then my friend, who really, really wanted to be a choreographer when she grew up and has gone on to choreograph many lovely things, had the idea that we should like strip. Both she and I should strip for our boyfriends who were best friends, and we were best friends, and we would do like a big like duo number and blow their minds with this stripping thing. However, we could not agree on a song.
Did you do a mashup?
At all. We did two because we were fighting. And my choice was Peggy Lee's Fever.
Yes.
Iconic,
So hot.
perfect stripping song. I'm like, we are doing Fever by Peggy Lee. My friend is like, no, we are doing I Saw the Sign by Ace of Base.
That was actually one of the songs on the list.
So
what? That
I've
was one of the
done
songs
it.
on the list.
I have
I love
done
it.
it, my friends. She choreographed a whole number. We did do Fever. I choreographed it. I think it was better.
I believe you.
Memorable, perhaps, is she and I doing a duo number to I Saw the Sign.
Oh my gosh.
Depressed boners.
We need to do a
Sexy
burlesque show
ever.
that is weird, hard songs to strip to, and we need to
My
make
saving
that
grace,
shit
though, is that
work.
these were high school boys, and we were taking off our clothes.
So they didn't give a shit.
They were so grateful. It did not matter. They're like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. I can see your boobs and your best friend's boobs.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
This reminds me of The Loophole by Garfunkel.
Yes.
Is that how it ended? That's
Yeah.
like and what I'm imagining.
That would be an alternate ending. That would be a good alternate ending.
I want to do Closer by 9 Inch Nails.
Yes.
And I'm a big sub, but I want a lot of leather and fishnets.
Do you listen to In This Moment?
No.
So she's like a blonde, big boobs, gorgeous woman that does a lot of metal, and she's covered that song.
Really?
You should watch that music video.
Oh, I will. I love when I hear different versions of songs. It like changes the song.
I look
Hearing
up
it from a
metal
different
versions
perspective.
for every song that I want to do.
Right?
Because there's heavy metal
do a
versions
metal
of
night.
everything.
Cover versions are my favorite. I'm doing a cover version of a song in tongue-in-cheek, in fact. I'm doing a cover of a Prince song by a female singer.
Oh,
Yes.
I won't give too much else
Is it-
away.
Okay. I don't know. I just thought there. Who sings I Can't Get No Satisfaction?
The original?
Yeah.
Is the Stones.
Yeah. So there's a good female cover of that. And it changes the how you see the song.
Yeah, it would.
Hearing it from a woman's perspective.
That's cool. I like that.
Love me a good cover.
Love covers.
That I think there should be more themed burlesque nights, and I think the idea of doing retro songs or 90s awkward
You know
90s
what?
songs.
If I could start doing a bi-weekly burlesque thing, I would totally do it, but I cannot afford to do that shit.
Yeah. That's the
Rhapsody Blue, who did the Burlesque Wednesdays out at the Bourbon Room, she had done over 200 shows.
Wow.
And I'm like, you are a queen. I wish I could do this. I wish I had the funds to be able to secure a space that was all accessible to be able to do this thing. Because I've got ideas coming out the wazoo, and we've talked about 6 or 7 of them just tonight. And I'm like,
well, on
my
that
brain's
note,
going crazy.
please come to
Yes.
Tongue-in-Cheek. We're coming
Yes.
out.
Oh
We
my
would
God,
love
so
to
many
make
ideas.
it a monthly affair, and we can only do that if the first one goes well. So please, please
Come out. Buy your tickets now.
Buy your tickets.
Very true.
Yeah.
You'll see my tits.
I know you wanna.
Some food.
And I can see and I can see them from here, and they're rather
You know what? If you have a food fetish, that night might be for you, because if we've got savory, I'm gonna do sweet.
Oh,
Nice.
that's fantastic.
I'm excited.
Oh my god. And did someone say that they were engaged here? Who said
I'm
that?
engaged.
You're engaged.
I've been engaged for over a decade.
That's impressive.
Yeah. We've been
Okay.
engaged for a very, very long time and just have never actually
Gotten around to it?
finished.
What
Wait, what's that song? Can't get no satisfaction?
Can't get no satisfaction.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's one
I'm
of those,
teasing.
engagement is kind of fantastic in and of itself. I had a beautiful engagement story. And
What's the story? Can we?
Oh, I'll tell
If you guys
it.
aren't crunched for time, I'd love to hear.
I'm not crunched for time. I'll tell it. So he and I are both of Scottish ancestry and love things Scottish and love men in kilts.
Also Scottish. Also love a man in a kilt.
Not
Love
the
a
only
man in a
one.
kilt.
What?
And he was a friend of mine for a long time before we were ever engaged. And then I had given up on finding true love for life and said, just fuck this. I really want to have a whole ton of kids and a fantastic man and some other partners. But I give
Yes,
up.
for Polly.
And then exactly at that moment, the universe was like, here's this person who's always been a fantastic friend who now has been suddenly divorced and thrust across the country with 2 little girls. And he shows up, he's like, hey, I've always had a crush on you. And I'm like, I've always had a crush on you. And then we started dating. And on Citadel Hill, which for those who aren't Haligonians is our big hill in the city, we went there visiting one day. I had no idea what was going on. We had the 2 of our older girls. We now have 2 more girls. And he disappears. And so I'm just wandering around Citadel Hill like, look at all the lovely historical features. And then bagpipes start up. I'm like, oh, there's going to be a piper. This is great, girls. Watch going. They're going to march. It's going to be good. And then a piper escorts someone out. And I'm like,
I recognize that face,
and
maybe?
Everyone's lining up and all the historical reenactors are in their kilts around, and they get closer and they're coming right on. I'm like, the piper's coming this way. This is going to be fantastic. And I realize the person beside the piper is my boyfriend. And the piper stops and he beckons. And I look back at the kids. I'm like, what's happening? I honestly...
Did you know?
I didn't. I had no idea.
I always wonder this because I feel like a lot of you bitches know.
I had no idea. Yeah. I had no idea. And so I'm like, this is a thing we're doing with the kids. And let's go forward, girls. Something's going on. And the older of the girls, who was only like 9 at the time, she knew before I did. And she's like, no. You're supposed to go. And so I walked up, and he had gotten into full Highland kit.
Hot.
He used to work at the Hill many, many years ago as one of the historical reenactors. So he was in the full Highland dress. And got down on one knee and did the full proposal. And then the bagpipes started up again. And it was amazing.
Were there a lot of people watching?
Yeah. I mean, it was like Citadel Hill. There was like tourist palooza going on at the time. So everyone was like, oh, look at that.
That's so sweet.
That's so cute.
So when you have an engagement that's that sweet, like you can
don't spoil it with a marriage.
Yeah,
exactly. I love that. So, don't spoil it with a marriage.
And yeah, so like over a decade on, we still haven't gotten around to it. We've gotten around to having some more kids. So I mean, the relationship's still clearly working.
And I mean, it shouldn't change anything. Yeah, like if you're truly in love, just be in love.
Yeah. And at some point in time, we're going to have a really, really rad party.
Yeah.
Yes. But between now and then, like there's been kids, and that does change your priorities in terms of budgeting.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
There will be a big fun party at some point in time, but like the engagement has been fantastic.
That's so sweet.
I'm very happy to be engaged for over a decade.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. A lot of people really shit on relationships and love, but I'm really happy that there are examples, and I get to live one where it does work out.
Yeah,
and
there you
you
go.
wind up with your best friend, and it's wicked.
That's the dream.
Plus kilt sploosh.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I didn't hear a word she said because I just stared at her boobs the whole time.
What about you guys? Married, right?
Well,
Not married?
We call ourselves married. Essentially, like I've been married before, and we had the big wedding and we did the whole thing, and then like it was like as soon as we got married, things just kind of fell apart, and it felt like this big party and this big commitment that we made really meant nothing.
Right.
And like even to get divorced was so easy. Like we went through so much to get married and do the wedding, and then it was just like, I don't like you anymore, here's my signature,
sign it off. Yeah.
So like with Chris and I, when we bought the house together, we were like, this is our marriage.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like that's more of a thing, right? Like we bought this fixer-upper house that we spend almost every day doing something on, that we're building together, and to me that's more of building a life, and that's more what marriage actually means than having an actual wedding. So yeah, I mean, he made us rings. He handmade these, which is cool. Aww. I'm allergic to metal.
So sick you make me.
Yeah,
that's adorable.
What are they made of if you're allergic to metal?
It's made out of a bunch of fancy woods, so it's like oak, and then this, I think it's called Purple Heart.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he handmade them, and it's really, really sweet.
Sweet. And married, taken?
I have been married for 15 years already.
Ooh, wow. Give the gamut here.
Well, 15 years this summer. But yeah, when he proposed, he didn't really actually ask me.
Oh, no.
He had just come home from tour overseas. He's in the military. Okay. And I
was hoping rock star.
We were both, we're both like shaking. I wish. No, I don't.
You do two things.
But we were both shaking because I had actually asked his parents if I could ask him to marry me, and he had asked mine, and it was this whole.
That's adorable. I love that.
He never actually asked me because he was afraid that I would say no.
Oh,
I was like, God, you're so cute.
So,
but
so did you ask him?
And so we're polyamorous, and we don't currently have full-on actual partners, but we have other people that we hang out with and do things with and stuff. So
that's awesome.
It's pretty kicking.
And how does that work? So do you like?
I'm always a whole separate
a lot. I'm always very fascinated by it, because it must require a lot of communication and like organizing. Am I right in saying that?
Yes. I know there's a few polyamorous couples that actually like share Google Calendars.
Yeah, I've heard of that. That's
to
hilarious.
make sure everything lines up. I even consider my friendships part of that polyamorous thing. My girlfriend, she is pan-romantic, so we are not sexual, but we have romantic things. Like we hold hands and we hang out and watch anime and hold hands and do that, but we don't fuck.
Pan-romantic.
Yeah,
I've never heard of that term.
There's so many different kinds of relationships. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's
This
just
is a
crazy.
whole other podcast.
Yeah. There's actually a thing going on at the Discovery Center tonight. It's called Strange Love.
Yes, yeah.
Strange Love.
And actually, one of
Burlesque
my very
performers
good-
Lady Corbeau and Euphoria
Yes,
are performing
and,
at that.
A fantastic friend of mine, Liz Borden, is actually one of the speakers on polyamory there tonight.
Awesome.
So we know some really fantastic people that have been polyamorous for many, many years, and have been through all the bad as well as a lot of the good.
Yes.
And there's so much that goes on, and polyamory is not for everybody, but neither is monogamy.
Yes.
Yes.
absolutely.
Biggest ding. Stop cheating on your girlfriends.
Yeah.
Stop getting in
Amen.
relationships
Talk
and cheating.
about it. Not everybody can be everything to one person.
Yes.
So individual needs, and they can be individual.
That's so stressful for people. Like when before we became polyamorous, it was so stressful for both of us to be everything to that other person.
Right.
Yes.
Because
It's unrealistic.
it's really
Totally.
not. Like sometimes people they are just themselves. They can't be anything other than what they are, and sometimes you need something else.
Yep.
Even if that means a friendship. Or a pan-romantic, like she can be romantic with absolutely anyone, but she has to have the connection with them. Doesn't mean they're gonna fuck.
Yeah. Or you can be totally in love romantically, and maybe the sex side of things isn't
Maybe
really
you're
working,
asexual.
and so you go
Maybe
fuck.
sex is not your thing, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
okay.
that's definitely
Talk
fine.
about a whole other podcast, but layer on the kink element.
Yes.
And you might really need very particular things
Yeah.
fulfilled by very particular people that might not be your main partner.
You know what? I need a t-shirt that says what I am. I am a polyamorous, pansexual, kinky bitch, and still not sleeping with you.
I love that.
Ding that. Ding
Pan
it,
is
ding it, ding.
pan is when you're just you could be attracted to anybody, right? Is that
a
the
beautiful
right?
friend of mine explained pansexualism as you fall for the person and you play with the bits they come with.
Oh, okay.
I like that.
So you're open to everybody.
Yeah.
Well, anybody that they find attractive.
Right.
So, right.
Well,
like
yeah.
it's not a.
I can fall in love with anybody.
Yeah.
I love that.
And really anybody could,
Yes.
depending on themselves. So I don't care what your genitalia is.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if I like you as a person and feel like we click emotionally or whatever in any what way, I'll be like, I would like to explore this kind of relationship with you. How do you feel about that? If you're not into it, that's okay, because consent is sexy.
Yes. Very.
Very sexy.
Consent is mandatory and sexy.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
Can I ask like a weird question? This is
Have you not?
I've never asked this to any poly person. But how many people at one time have like what's the max number? I'm just curious because as a gal who's busy as fuck, and I don't even think I have time for one. So like the idea of managing multiple relationships seems crazy.
So dependent on the relationship.
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, because some relationships are needier than others, right? Yeah.
There's like a little bit of a kind of have to like it's like a pie chart. You gotta figure out your time and where to put it.
You gotta Google Calendar it.
Google
But not for Adrienne. She needs
Nope.
a paper copy.
No, if you're gonna be polyamorous with me, you better be used to a paper calendar, bitch.
Pencil you in literally.
I was just gonna say I'm gonna pencil
I
myself in your
literally
calendar.
pencil things in. I do. I do.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, and I feel like I want to talk about how often, like, the heteronormative crowd will find a polyamorous relationship that isn't working or something went wrong and just cling to that.
Oh,
And
yes.
how many
Yes.
monogamous relationships are
Yes,
working?
I was talking.
Come on.
Can I just say that I was talking to someone? And he was just talking about how there's many different types of relationships and things like that, and he was like, he used the term like sharing doesn't work. And I was like, dude, you're divorced. You're divorced. Monogamy didn't work for you.
Why are you divorced? Oh, you cheated?
Oh.
Communication is a key, bitch.
Yeah. Or you you had kids and you both you devoted your time to your kids, which is good. That's great. But then you didn't devote any time to your partner, and you both gained 40 pounds, and you stopped having sex, and then you just were unhappy and that sort of thing. Like there's that too, right?
Things fell apart.
Ding ding.
Shocking.
Yeah. So. Anyways,
my goodness gracious, yeah, I'm just fascinated, honestly, and not even from a judgmental perspective, but literally like how do you organize the logistics of, because I can't even figure out how to fit one person in my life right now. I'm so busy. So
you can be polyamorous and only have one partner or not have any.
That's true.
Yeah,
it's like being bisexual and being married to someone who's the opposite gender. It's like it doesn't negate my
that doesn't
thank you, that's my
straight.
exact situation.
It doesn't make you straight. And if you're bisexual or pansexual and dating someone of the same sex, that does not make you gay.
Yes, you didn't pick a side, you picked a person.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And it's like that with affiliation for your relationship constellation.
Ooh.
Configuration.
I love that relationship constellation.
Yeah,
that's really pretty.
It is.
And there's so many different kinds of love.
Stars.
There's so many different kinds of love.
Valentine's Day.
Everything below Orion's belt.
Love. Yeah.
And I love all kinds of love, but man, I would like some romantic love in my life. I would really, really like. That'd be nice, wouldn't it, Adrienne? I'm looking at Adrienne over here, like we're both pretty lonely.
Yeah,
pretty lonely gals.
Thirsty bitches.
At the end of the podcast, all of our contact information will be like
a questionnaire. Do you finger?
Yeah.
One thing I don't like as a single gal is when girlfriends will say things like, well, you don't need a boyfriend because I love you.
Yeah.
And it's like
not the same thing.
It's like going back to different kinds of love. Like there are different kinds of love. It's okay to be happy with one or, whatever. But it's also okay to want a different kind.
It's okay to want something else from somewhere else.
Yes. Yeah. And I think it's put on single women that we shouldn't want it.
You need a man.
It's not attractive to want it.
No, I don't.
And I think that's a little rapey.
Yeah.
I think that's a little rapey that people think like you have to act like you don't want a boyfriend. Yes. One will just come around. I'm like, that's rapey.
Why is that what's most attractive?
Yeah.
Being
gross.
Disinterested.
Yeah.
To make
isn't that weird?
Pursue harder.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Instead of actually listening to each other's cues.
Yeah.
And
saying yes after 6 no's should not really equal a yes, because if you're feeling pressured, that's not consent.
That's not a real yes.
But
no.
For me too, I am 42, as we mentioned earlier. I grew up in a generation of films where it was that weird level of pursuit was romanticized to a really high level. You're supposed to be John Cusack standing on the lawn with a boombox over your head, stalking your partner in Say Anything.
Yeah.
That was what was romantic, was that high level of pursuit.
Yeah.
And the woman being at least slightly unattainable.
Right.
Yes. If not convincingly disinterested.
Yeah.
And he won past.
Right.
Yeah. By
and
persistence.
That was the romantic arc.
So true. And it's fucked us up so bad.
No,
it's so
and him
gross.
being I will push past this to yes.
I mean, I won't lie.
And that's the romantic story.
Yeah. I won't lie. I'd like someone to be obsessed with me right now. I've gone through a lot of wishy-washy, being led on, saying one thing, doing another, mind games, gaslighting. I've had all of that. My whole single life has been that. So yeah, if someone was obsessed with me, I'd be like, this is hot.
Thorny path to figure out, because there's this influence and that influence, and there's that whole thing is I should reject all that, and I still want you to stalk me a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it makes me feel wanted.
Yeah, it's messed up.
I would have someone, I wouldn't mind someone standing outside my window holding a boombox. Like,
where are they going to
playing
find a boombox?
But I don't know. but do it in the daytime, because the nighttime would really freak me out.
Yes, it
would. If I
want
like
to be able to see who the fuck you are.
I don't want to have to turn off my bedroom light at night and then just look outside and be like, oh shit. Right?
Was that a raccoon?
I actually have a great question, maybe to close off the episode. On the theme of love and Valentine's Day,
Sure.
and it is Happy Valentine's Day to any listeners right now.
Happy Valentine's Day.
What do we think? What do you guys think your definition of, and let's make it the romantic love just for the sake of Valentine's Day. What's your definition of love?
That's actually a really fucking hard question.
Yeah,
because I have one,
Specifically.
but it's not. I can't take credit for it because I saw it in an Instagram quote.
It counts.
But it was like love
if you
is
relate to it, then it counts.
Yeah, totally.
It was pretty much, and I'm paraphrasing, but it was pretty much like love is like when someone feels like home, and it's the place you go to take the day off.
I
Like you know when you come home and you're like, I'm just
I
done
feel like
with
that's
today.
so valid.
Is that romantic love?
I would want.
You said romantic.
I mean, not necessarily, but I would
that's
want
a
that in my
larger love.
romantic. Like if I was in a romantic relationship, I would want that feeling as well.
I think that's a
fair.
really important part of a true, full expression of love. I don't know if I would have put that in with like classic romantic love. Romantic love for me is something that, as someone who's been in a relationship for a very, very long time, maybe some other
Spread your
relationships,
wisdom upon us.
Romantic love for me is you're aiming towards that, where the person is home and you feel safe and you're relaxed and all your boundaries are down. And that's the true definition of actual love. Romantic love, there is kind of a higher degree of I am willing to go that extra mile to completely acknowledge you and see you and put in the razzle dazzle of that first initial stage of like, I am trying to impress you. That shouldn't go away.
Yeah.
But we're all humans and it kind of does. But the most beautiful part of the initial blush of romantic love is I am willing to put in absolutely all of the effort I possibly can to make this as sparkly as possible. And if you're in that point of love, like, fucking soak that up.
Is anybody else falling in love with her a little bit right now?
I loved it when I first met her. So
Holy shit.
The NRE
That's
is
the
over,
sound
but I
clip.
still
The ideal
adore
is
you
that
so
that
much.
never goes away. And
It's
of course,
arc.
everyone should
You're
strive for that arc, but you can never entirely recapture like that first 3 months, first 3 years even of like, gosh,
that's
nothing
NRE,
is more important than
new
you.
relationship.
Right.
And I'm gonna just like give it.
It's like prioritize. Like they've totally put you as a priority at the top of their list.
Yeah, razzle dazzle, romance.
Razzle dazzle.
I love any definition that has razzle dazzle.
Oh, that was beautifully said. Can any of you guys top that?
No, but I will say that I feel like love is like when you both allow each other to be authentic, like your authentic self.
Yes.
You know, and you
I feel
don't
that.
try
So true.
to.
I feel that so much.
You don't try to mold someone into something else.
Yeah.
And that's that coming home.
Yeah, the coming home feeling.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, home can be anything, but, like, when home is, like, a person, I truly feel like that's a love thing. That's love. Like, you're in love.
Yeah.
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 I would say that like my definition of love would be making each other feel like all of the characteristics that you thought were flaws are celebrated.
Oh, I like that.
Now I'm gonna cry.
I'm like hearing all these things and I'm like putting them in my relationship with my partner and I'm like, fuck, I love him.
Yeah.
He's in Crete right now, so I hate him a little bit.
Crete.
But I love him.
Crete's beautiful,
He's buying me something shiny. I'm good.
Oh, my gosh. Well, did you have a definition?
I'm like I said, I'm just pulling pieces of all this. And I'm like, I was like drawing blanks. I'm like, I don't know how to put these things into words. And
It's tough.
you are all doing that for me. And I'm just like, maybe I am a Tetris master. I keep telling
Smorgasbord.
He's the Tetris master in our relationship, but I'm like putting all these and like the lines are all working, and I'm like, thanks, guys.
Well, I think that's our episode, everybody.
Yay!
Wow, we went to places this evening. That was excellent.
That was fun.
We went from makeup to fingering to love.
That's fantastic.
That's all you need.
That's amazing. Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming on. Thank you, Alva
for having
and
us.
Adrienne, for coming, and thank you guys for first time
Thank you.
podcasters. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Once again, let's plug Tongue in Cheek. Let's tell them again.
So it's on February 21st at the Bus Stop Theater. Again, it's a variety comedy burlesque show. Doors open at 8. Show starts at 8:30 sharp. You can get tickets by either following us on Facebook or going directly to Eventbrite. And again,
Putting it all here.
The
Putting it all
promo
here.
code for if you're a listener is Intalksicated.
Yes, so put that in for a discount. And everybody come and see these talented women.
Yes, please come. Yay!
We're all so fucking talented. They're putting a lot into this show. You need to come see it. And I will be there. So if it's an added bonus that you'll see me, I will be there probably somewhere running around helping.
Yes.
Because you're lovely and we love you.
Thank you, Sarah.
Oh my God, no problem. And now normally, I'm going to get you guys to come over to the table because normally we do a bell ring, but it's bad luck if not all the guests ring it. Okay. So you have to do a joint bell ring.
Can I just put this down on
Yeah.
So we all just gonna like pile up like.
Yeah, that's what I think it should be done.
That sounds hot. Shit getting sexy.
Oh wait.
Go this way. Yeah, that's in the way.
There we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo! Okay, that's it.